Hello there! Welcome back to Fablestand, and if this is your first time, welcome to my little online space slash corner, and I hope you enjoy your visit here. Feel free to take a look around. Lots of great stuff, lots of great tarot nerdy stuff, and I hope you like it. So, my name is Kimberly. I usually just go by Kim. In this video, I want to talk about what you can do when you're working with a really mean tarot deck, or when you're really just like working with a mean deck. Could be an oracle deck, or could be Lenormand, I don't know. When you're working with, but mostly for tarot, when you're working with a really mean tarot deck, what are some of the things you can do, and what are some of the considerations that you can have? So this video is about that. So I think I want to start by saying or addressing this concept of a mean deck. So what does it mean to have a really mean deck? What does it mean, right? So I think when people say, oh, my deck is being really mean to me, I think there's like several sort of considerations. You know, one is that this tarot deck is being very blunt and direct and has no censor and no filter, and then just truth bombing you to the point of making you uncomfortable, and to the point of making you a little bit defensive, and making you like, you know, it triggers like some negative emotions in you. So, you know, by being blunt and cutting through your bullshit. So there's one. And another one is maybe bringing up something that you didn't want to hear, or something that really, like I said before, triggers your negative emotions. Maybe something shadowy, something ego-y that's in your psyche, you know, something that makes you feel, you know, off your vibe, or just really negative. And I think I heard people talk about how tarot decks could insult them. So I think by this, I think it's really saying that, you know, whatever messages that came up triggered their insecurities, or triggered their anger or projections, or things that we care deeply about, things that we are maybe embarrassed or insecure about. So there's all those things. So I think like a really mean deck is, a deck saying mean things is really like a deck telling us things that we don't want to hear. And that's a complicated area, I feel, because the things that we usually the things that we don't want to hear are, you know, like I said before, it's usually shadowy, ego-y. It could just be like we're in a bad mood, and then the tarot, and then maybe we're seeking comfort, but then maybe we ask a question that's more like, oh, much more solution based, and you're just like, I don't want to hear about how to solve my problems, I just want you to listen to my problems, that kind of thing. So there's like a lot of different sort of reasons for really mean things coming up from a deck, but here are some ways, here are some of the things that you can do when a situation like this happens, when a tarot deck is being really mean to you. So the first thing is very simple. Really, you just put the deck down and just take a break, and then just try again later. It could just be that you're just really upset about that, whatever it is you're asking, and then you're just kind of emotionally twisting whatever it is that the tarot deck is throwing at you, and you know, you're just upset. It's like whatever people say to you, it's gonna go through this filter of upset. Like, you're just upset. So maybe you just need to calm down a bit. I know, like, I've done this before where I wanted to like ask a question and I was clearly upset, but I just pulled a card anyway, and then it was just like, it wasn't really mean, but I just feel like I was really disconnected. I was just like, what is this? I don't understand. Like, show me a good card. Where's the sun card? That kind of thing. So I think when we're like really emotional, it's good to let those emotions kind of just wait for us to calm down a bit, you know, just wait until you're more like chill, and you can pick up the decks, your tarot deck, and try again. So that's the first thing. Like, you can just try again later, you know, you can just let it sit a bit and then just ask your question again later. And another way to deal with this is if you're working with a really dark deck by nature, such as looking at you, Deviant Moon. You know, if you're just working with really dark symbolism, you can just switch to a deck that's lighter in tone to have an alternative perspective. For example, you can use a good tarot for something more nurturing and gentle and encouraging and more positive. So I'm not talking about like bypassing your problems or just bypassing the negativity and not looking at them directly, but I just mean that sometimes it's good to consider multiple perspectives. It's good to And sometimes I think at different times we're ready to hear different things. So I think if you're really upset and then your deck tells you something about your shadows, or the real reason, the real truth about why you're feeling upset. Maybe it wasn't the best time to receive a message like that. You know, maybe you have to calm down first. Maybe you just have to kind of take care of yourself first, and know how to nurture yourself during a bad situation like this. So I think there's timing has to do with a lot of it. So using like a deck that's lighter in images, in symbolism, and in tone, a deck that's warmer, more positive, like good tarot, happy tarot, something more cheerful, right? It can kind of help you change your vibration a bit. It could kind of help you process your own negativity first. So there's that. You can just work with the lighter deck, kind of like asking for another opinion, right? Asking for a second opinion, right? You're not ignoring the messages of your first deck per se. You're not ignoring the mean messages, but you're kind of just considering multiple perspectives so you have a more balanced outlook on things. So speaking of alternative perspectives, if you're using tarot decks and your tarot deck is being really mean, you can also try pulling a card from oracle decks. And I know oracle decks are generally more positive. They're more about affirmations. They're usually more nurturing. A lot of fairy decks out there, angel decks, and then just a lot of the Colette Baron decks. They're usually more sort of power based. It's more about how you can deal with your negativity and tap into your inner sources of strength and that kind of thing. So oracle decks are generally more positive. So pulling a deck from an oracle deck is kind of like a way to think outside of the box. Like I do this all the time after my tarot readings for myself, or sometimes for clients. Usually I would pull an oracle deck. I would pull an oracle card from an oracle deck to kind of have a think outside of the box card, to kind of just give like a different perspective, to have a different sort of angle to approach the situation. So that's another way to kind of ask for another opinion, right? Get another perspective, to kind of comfort yourself a little bit, to help yourself smooth out emotions so you can really consider the messages that come up. So yeah, and oracle decks are just really pep talking anyway, so that's why one of the reasons why I like working with oracle decks. And it's also not a established system, so it could, like I said, it really helps you think outside of the box. Just because it's not part of the tarot system, you don't have to consider the elements, you don't really have to consider numerology. Sometimes you can just really do like a heart-to-heart and channel your intuition, and get a different perspective. Okay, so another thing you can do is to, maybe you're not asking the right questions, and that's why the answer isn't really what you wanted to hear. So consider what you really want to know at that moment. I actually wrote a blog post and I made a video about this, about how you can ask better questions to get better readings for yourself. But yeah, I think considering what is the answer that you're seeking. Are you seeking to be comforted? Do you just want some self-care tips? Do you want solutions or practical solutions to your problems? Do you want a different perspective? Like, what is it that you're looking for? I think when we're not clear with our questioning, and then we get something that the tarot's like, oh, here, and you're just like, what is this? And the tarot's like, it's like, well, you kind of, I think rephrasing your questions differently, and also just kind of changing the wording and trying to clarify your questioning, I think it really helps to get a better reading. For example, like I think some questions could be rephrased into more empowering questions. And for example, like if you said, oh, why did he cheat on me? You can ask questions that's more about tapping into your own sense of power, instead of asking and speculating, why did this happen to me? Why did he do this? Why did she do this? Why did it leave me in this situation? I think that's just like, that's really victimizing, and it really takes away your power. So I like questions that are more centered in your own source of power. You can ask questions such as, how do I actively heal from this experience? Or how can I communicate my truth to this person? How can I communicate my boundaries to this person? How do I communicate, or how do I solve this problem in my relationship? So that's more based on what you can do at that very moment. I think it really grounds you in the reality, and it helps center you in your own seat of power. Speaking of seat of power, I really love that book. So read Seat of Power. So yeah, rephrasing or reframing or changing your question could really help you to get a better answer. An answer that isn't mean per se. And yeah, so the next thing you can do is you could journal or do what I call like a vomit session. So you don't have to write anything down. If you're not really into writing, you can type it, you can do a voice recording, you can film yourself, just some kind of outlet in which you're channeling your voice. So if you're like feeling really negative or triggered, or embarrassed or hurt by the messages that come up, or just by whatever situation you're dealing with, I think it's good to try to find a way to release those emotions first to kind of reach that calmer state I was talking about. You know, you can journal, and then and I said vomit session, right? By this I just mean like you just dump whatever it is that's on your mind. Just barf it out, just puke it out on the page. Hopefully not like act like literally, but just, you know, write down whatever it is you're thinking, right? You can swear, you can write down all the ugly things that are turning your stomach. Just write it down, you know, non-judgmental, no criticisms, no censoring. Just put it on a page. Nobody has to hear this, and nobody has to look at this. Just let it out, and then I think as you let it out, I think when there's like a physical sort of manifestation of what's going on inside, it's like a little ritual, you know, it's like this sort of ritualistic sort of garbage dumping that can really help you smooth out the rough edges in your mind. And I think that's going to help you sort of read the messages again in a more calmer state, in the less judgmental state, and you can maybe be, you know, look at the mean message again and be like, oh, so that was what you were saying. I see that now. Like, I was really mad before, so I didn't really understand what you meant, but now I do. I see that you're actually saying something positive. I need to work on this, la-di-da. And yeah, I think as an extension of that, as you journal, as you release your emotions, as you jot down your thoughts, the next thing you can do is really to do some shadow work and just look at what's really coming up, what's the source of all these anxieties or negativity, like what caused this, have you experienced this before, like what really made you feel this way. Like, it's not that the cards said something triggering to you and then you're reacting to that card. You're reacting something that's within yourself already. And tarot cards really just act as a mirror, and it reflects your own vibrations back to you. It reflects, it's a reflection of your own image. So if you don't like what the tarot is saying, if you don't like what you're seeing, then you're really saying that you don't like something that is within yourself. You are upset about something that's within yourself. So doing shadow work really helps. It helps you release those triggers. It helps you heal. It helps you problem solve. It helps you just have a cleaner state of mind. Like, it just gets rid of the junk in your vibrations, right? You know, just in your energy sphere, or it's just in you, you know, just do some psychological housekeeping. That's what it is. Yeah, and then shadow work doesn't have to be something like super scary. I find there's like a lot of gravity and weight that tends to be attached to this word. And I don't know, I'm usually like, I don't want to say I'm like a fluffy person, but I'm just like, I'm naturally just like to look at the positive side of things. I think shadow work is really just a way to get to know ourselves better, to confront the challenges that are inside, and then just to work through those challenges, you know. I guess, I don't know if that's like a more neutral perspective. Like, I don't like the perspective of like, I'm overcoming all the difficulties in life so life would suck less. I don't know, that just seems like life has nothing else to offer other than suffering. Which is, I don't know if that's essentially Buddhist or not, but I don't know. Buddhism talks about suffering a lot. That's generalizing. But anyway, my point is, like, shadow work doesn't have to be super scary. Like, I think when people hear the word shadow, it's like, shadow work, ooh. But I don't know, I think it's just a way of exploring what's inside, just looking at what your story is, looking at what you want to change, what you need to confront. It could just be something that really adds to your personal power. It doesn't have to be something that's really dark and scary. I think by going to shadow work, I think like the mentality people should have is like, it could be dark and scary, but it's not something that you can't handle, you know? Like, it's something that you can integrate. It's like, you have enough, like, you got this, you know? It's like, if you have that mentality, then everything's fine, you know? It's not dark and scary. Even if it is, it's just like, I got this. So yeah, shadow work's another thing you can do if you encounter a really mean message from a really mean deck. I keep circling back to Deviant Moon for some reason. I actually don't have the deck because the images really disturb me, but it's kind of coming back into my life where I'm just like, I see people working with this deck and posting pictures of it. I'm just like, I'm really curious about you. Like, I want to purchase you, take you home, study you. You can tell me your dirty little secrets, that kind of thing. So I don't know, maybe I'll cave in and purchase a Deviant Moon deck, actually work with it, and see what happens. But yeah, That's it. I hope I didn't miss anything. I think that's it. Those are some of the things you can do when you're working with a really mean deck. Does this happen to you very often? Do you have other tips and suggestions or kind of your own strategies when working with a really mean deck? What decks are particularly mean? I mentioned Deviant Moon because I know the images are very dark and grotesque, and then it's just like that bear, like, you know, that's just its vibe, right? So are there any other dark decks that I don't know about that maybe I should look into and get tempted into buying them? No, but seriously though. But yeah, what are your experiences with really mean decks? Has it ever like made you cry? I don't know, like could you actually cry from a tarot reading? Well, actually you can. I have done that before, like where it's just, but I think tears are generally a good thing, you know, it's like a sign that your emotions are being released. So I generally encourage crying, but you shouldn't be stuck in that vicious cycle and then just be stuck in a loop where you're constantly crying over the same thing. That's a different story, but yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching and thanks for checking out my video. I also wrote a blog post about this. It's just right down there if you want to just have a clear reference of what you can do and just like look at a quick list. It's down there. And yeah, just a quick few updates. Lots of new awesome stuff in my shop right now. I just launched a gamification reading if you haven't caught wind of it through my Instagram and other social media. It's this whole series of tarot readings using the metaphor of gamifying. So, you know, like instead of like a scary interview, you would enter like a boss level and fight the bosses, and then instead of self-development you would be leveling up. So if you like the terminologies of like questing, gamifying, dealing with glitches, dealing with trolls, check out those readings. They're really fun and they're really like empowering. So I really love those. I just love the motif of a quest and of leveling up. Like it's just my cup of tea. And there's also this new feature in my shop that I'm really excited about. It's called the add-on option. So it's kind of like in addition to your tarot readings, you could purchase these add-on options. There's like 3 different ones. Really the differences between them are just like the size. And these sort of add-ons are customized toolboxes where you get customized journal prompts, customized tarot spreads, affirmations, exercises to help you unpack and work with the reading that you purchase. So it has to be purchased with the tarot readings, but it's just really cool. Like I really enjoy making them because I love coming up with exercises. And you know, I like creating learning activities or exercises and stuff like that. So that's like totally something I love creating, and I feel like it's something I'm good at. So if you're really into those things, check it out. The links are down below. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have I think I generally just have like new readings coming in all the time because I like my shop to be a really creative space. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to bombard you with my shop stuff, but that's it for now. So let me know down below if you have a really mean deck, and let me know if you have worked with a really mean deck and what was it like, all that jazz, and check out the blog post. And thank you for watching. Thank you for visiting my channel. It really means a lot to me that you're supporting my channel. You're making my dreams come true. It's just like, yeah, it's just awesome. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for liking my videos. Speaking of liking my videos, you should like my video. I never remember which side like the arrows are on. I think it's this side because the images get flipped. So give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Level up life with tarot.